how do you go about retaining the talent in this current market?
Look, so I think I'm probably going to say something that's a little bit controversial, but ultimately, I don't think we should be obsessed about retaining people for the sake of keeping people. I think, yes, we want to kind of retain the best talent, but also sometimes the best talent is the most ambitious talent. And you may be in an organization where there isn't going to be that opportunity for them to grow in the way that they want to. So I think the key is that while you've got somebody, create that environment in which they can thrive. And hopefully they'll stay because it is a great environment. I think as Johanna's alluding to, getting those people that are just happy, great. But, sometimes you aren't going to be the be all and end all to somebody in their career. I also think it has become more common for people to change roles every couple of years. And so actually, probably we should be saying if we have somebody for a couple of years, we've probably done okay. And actually, we should be all right with that. And we should be comfortable that people do want to change rather than trying to fight a losing battle, which is keep people for as long as possible. Might not be the best thing, actually, even in the interest of the team either, because sometimes a fresh injection of blood and talent can be, quite good. I think it's really important, therefore, to know your team members as individuals and what motivates them, what they're trying to achieve, what their career is about, and how you, as a leader and almost as a coach, can help them achieve that. And it may be in the guise of being part of the same organisation, but by having those honest conversations, you can probably work out whether that person is in this for the long term or not, because ultimately you're being quite transparent about they're being transparent about what they want and you're being transparent about what you can provide. And if there's going to be a gap, you can kind of see on the horizon at some point in time, this person may even outgrow the organisation. So I think it's about getting value from people while they're here. And also that legacy, because when people move to different places, your reputation will still kind of live on through having helped them get to where they need to get to. I think, look, there is an issue with the talent market right now being quite expensive. Lawyers are getting more and more expensive. Unfortunately, and I don't know if Graeme and Johanna feel this, at least in the UK market, it doesn't mean we're getting paid loads more. It just means that a lot of junior lawyers are kind of expecting the salaries that we're commanding ourselves, which, that bubble's got to burst at some point. But then, how do we sell what it is that we do? Well, we are in a much more commercial environment. There are more business opportunities to move into different lateral roles that aren't necessarily law. Maybe we do get a better life balance. I'm not sure that's always, the case, but I think it's about what are the positives of what we've got in our ecosystem. And not, it's not going to be for everybody. And so it's trying to marry those desires or abilities up with the people that are kind of, coming to you or a part of your team.
Absolutely. I think that's a wonderful perspective to bring to the table. Johanna, what's your take?
I agree. I mean, people move more quickly now than ever, probably. And it's up to everyone to sort of decide when it's time to leave. And there shouldn't be any hard feelings about that. But then again, of course, you want to make sure that people who are with the organization, that they feel connected and that they sort of are integrated in the business so that they can also contribute as well as they can. And when I joined Klarna, I thought we had so many meetings. And it just felt like, why are we wasting so much time on, sitting in meetings and talking about, both business planning, but also more like personal stuff. But over time, and not least when COVID hit, it was really, I think, key that we had that meeting culture where we knew each other and we were used to meeting over video. And not only talk about work, so that we retain the relationships and the connection with each other. Because at the end of the day, yes, I think giving people the opportunity to develop as a lawyer or in their professional role, that's absolutely key to retain lawyers. Otherwise, they will go somewhere else if they find that they will develop more and work on more exciting projects. But it's also like if the paycheck should not be the decisive or only decisive factor, then there needs to be other reasons to stay, right? And for me, it's like all the great people that I get to spend time with every day. So really like giving the opportunity to develop those relationships. We've also had like puzzles and online games with the organization, so that you get to spend time and have fun with colleagues, even if they are spread out in various offices or in their remote home offices, just to also get that in. And then the upside of that is also that you become so much more efficient. You can reach out to whoever you've spent time solving a puzzle with and ask for professional advice, like, have you done this before? Just reaching out and get help from each other in a much more efficient way than if you need to find whoever that was who sits in that part of the business and maybe they have done this. So also just speed up the communication around work topics.
Absolutely. Building the culture is huge. Graeme?
Yeah, just maybe to pick up on that, I think for me, it's not getting too hung up on things you can't control. So, ultimately there will always be roles there which pay mega bucks, and, you have this kind of carrot in front of you. And often as lawyers, I mean, to some extent you can control salary, but often it's determined by bandings within the organization or sort of wider considerations. So for me, if somebody has an offer of £250,000 to go and be a privacy lawyer, then great, go for it. But actually be very open about that. That's one opportunity you have, but be open and transparent about what you can offer. And for me, it's about, making sure you create an environment which is, fun to work in. The individuals are growing as lawyers. You're able to offer really strong quality work and tailor that to the way those lawyers want to develop, or non-lawyers as it may be, and not get too worried about trying to compete on what others might be able to offer in the industry. And I think if you're really open about that and you have a conversation with your team, and I think, as they were saying before, have an expectation that people will move on and will develop in other areas. So create an environment where they can have a good time while they're here and do a good job for you. And allow them to move on if that's the case, because as you say, you can then redo that process, bringing some fresh energy to the team, and not get too worried about things you can't control.